Welcome to Wendy's Perfume Diary. Today I will be doing something rather special. Instead of talking to my diary, I would be sending two YouTube reviewers that are very popular in the Malaysian fragrance community. Alright, yeah. To be very blunt, this will be Auntie Wendy sending two handsome young men. So the first person that I want to send is, this is Iqbal Aromatic, and he is a very active YouTube reviewer, and he has a fragrance. So his fragrance, I believe that the name of the fragrance that he has put out to the market is named Compliment. So I have checked the notes for Compliment. Actually, I have watched his reviews on Compliment and also some other fragrance reviews on that fragrance. Apparently, that fragrance is made to suit the people in Malaysia. You know, the hot weather in Malaysia, and what kind of fragrance would tailor to the needs of the to the needs of the people in Malaysia in this kind of weather. So, for me, if I'm gonna send him, I will send him with Lamar Kajal. Yes, I will send him with Kajal. This is a decant that I bought from Akif. Yeah, Akif, dear Akif. He is he is a person that I really have high respect to. I think that I'm always on some kind of adventure buying decants from him. Now back to this fragrance. This fragrance is Kajal, Lamar, and this is what I'm going to send Iqbal with. Why I'm going to send him with this? Now, I think that Iqbal is a very down-to-earth person. He seems to be very open in sharing his opinion, and is this kind of person who is very down-to-earth and friendly. He appears to me to be a very practical person also in his videos. So I believe that this fragrance suits him because it is a good performer. Now let's talk about the scent. This is a very bright, fruity scent in the beginning with pineapple, red berries, apple, cardamom, and coriander. Well, I believe that Iqbal's own creation, Iqbal's fragrance Compliment also has the same note, the similar note in the top with Compliment by Zindor, and this fragrance Kajal Lamar would be the apple. To me, this Kajal Lamar has a really bright pineapple note. It's like pineapple with its skin a little bit green and harsh, that thorny skin of the pineapple, and together with a very tart apple note in there. And just one spray, the pineapple won't just go away. The pineapple will stick and stick and stick to the whole development, throughout the wear of this perfume. I also think that this fragrance is suitable for Iqbal because there are some very bright rose. There are Bulgarian rose and Turkish rose. There are jasmine, sambac, and magnolia, which I don't think that are too prominent. I think that the rose is more prominent in here, but it's not like the kind of rose that the ladies will, not the typical ladies rose. This is actually a very masculine rose. If rose can be divided into gender, this rose will be this fun, party-loving man. It's mixed together very well with the fruitiness on top, but it isn't anywhere near feminine. I would say that this has some similarity. The rose there has some similar facet to Delina, which is really appealing to many people, but this is not as girly, as feminine as Delina. This is nowhere near there, but it's a very popular person fragrance, When I sniff this, it reminds me of popular people, it doesn't really, I don't get too much of a jasmine and magnolia. This is more like a very, very, dries down. It has vanilla, amber, cedar, cashmere wood, moss, and musk. Now, what I like about the dry down is that it is not typical pineapple scent like the well-known, the famous Creed Aventus. I don't know what to say about that fragrance because I had bad experience with that fragrance. That's why I think because of that bad experience that I had with Creed Aventus, I couldn't really enjoy the burnt, smoky, matured pineapple scent. But this one, it dries down to not really the vanilla. There is a tiny bit of vanilla only just to round things up, just to sweeten the deal up. But it doesn't really, it doesn't really go to the middle. It doesn't really show itself in its full vanilla form. It's more like a mossy cedar. It's more like a mossy cedar, yes. It has some masculinity in there, like a very dry, mossy cedarwood scent. I don't think that it's too smoky. It doesn't go the way that Creed Aventus go, but the pineapple still retains, throughout the whole wearing. And that is why I think that this scent actually fits Iqbal. Anyway, fans of Iqbal Aromatic, don't get offended, please. Pardon me if this auntie says anything that makes you feel offended. Well, I just think that Iqbal is, he can be a fun-loving guy. He can be a down-to-earth guy. He can be also the popular guy in the community. So, yeah, I think that this Lamar by Kajal really suits him. Another one for Iqbal would be Oud Couture by Carolina Herrera. Why Oud Couture? Well, in Iqbal's videos, I noticed that he would prefer something with a tiny bit of sweetness, but it doesn't lose any masculinity. This Oud Couture by Carolina Herrera is an amber floral fragrance for women and men. Yes, it's unisex. It's quite difficult for this auntie to come up with a list of masculine fragrance for this young man because I just simply don't have too many masculine scents in my collection. Actually, I don't really have any. I think that Oud Couture suits him because I would want him to smell. In a day, he can be this fun-loving guy. He can be this he can be this guy who can talk to everybody in the company. He can be this guy who will be the middle person of everybody, and everybody seems to like this guy in this office. But at night, I wouldn't want Iqbal to smell like a party animal at night. Oud Couture is amber floral, like I said just now. It's more like a deeper oud. It's a very clean westernized oud, but it has this depth, like a earthy, like a sweet earth. It's like a sweet soil kind of scent with a touch of romantic rose. Yeah. There are also roses in here. It's Taif rose and damask rose, but the rose is very much beneath that oud. According to Fragrantica, this oud is Aga wood, and it's a very deep, very enthralling scent. This is a draw-in scent. I would imagine Iqbal wearing this scent, but not to, just throw the sillage everywhere. Instead, this scent will enable him to draw in people. It's like when you are near a person, then you smell this delicious, but not foodie. It is classy. It is matured, but it's not old. It is deep but it's not skanky kind of oud rose combo. Well, this oud rose combo is not anything too complicated. It doesn't go and it doesn't change really much, which I think that for close encounter, at night when you hang out with a person, with only one person that you love, you wouldn't want to project all that much, right? This scent depicts a very stable person, and this is deep, and it's not dark, it's deep. It's just deep and fun loving, and it's warm still. Yes, this is the person that I would see in. This is the scent that I would give to him. This is the scent that I would send him. Oud Couture by Carolina Herrera. Next, I will be sending another fragrance reviewer in our Malaysian fragrance community. Next person that I'm going to send is Farith Mornias. Farith Mornias is another young man who is very much passionate about fragrance, and he is also a very enthusiastic fragrance collector. So, if I'm not mistaken, well, stalker mode is on. Auntie Wendy has been stalking Farith Mornias on his Facebook, and I know that he is a law student. So every time I think of all these professional setting, I would think of a good leathery scent. I think that nothing is smarter, nothing is wiser, nothing is more sleek than a leather scent, a good leather. So a good leather in my collection that I would really much recommend to Farith Mornias is this fragrance. I try to pronounce it in French. Maher d'Apogée. Well, what does that mean? Well, Maher d'Apogée is a fragrance by Maison Violet. So, the apogée in French, it basically means to reach the zenith. Apogee means the wake. So this fragrance actually means a discovery, an exception, and a phenomenon. Why I like this so much, and why I think that Farith Mornias would really enjoy this fragrance is that first, it's a leather. I think that when a professional wear a leathery fragrance, that would make the professional, it would make a man more trustworthy, more appealing, more reliable. Yeah, so this is a fragrance that has all that quality. This is a leathery note with mimosa, a very, very special blend. I mean, I don't see this combination everywhere. It's mimosa and leather, and there's tobacco. Yes, so there is some very rare notes combination. We have hay, tobacco, suede, Cashmerian, mimosa, iris, leather, ambroxan, sage, atlas cedar, and labdanum. So, what does this fragrance smell like? This, when you spray it, you get the iris. But this is not like a powdery puff kind of iris. No, it isn't. It is far from that. This iris also has this leather component. It's like opening up a new leather bag and you sniff the inside of it. It has that new leather smell, like a smell of luxurious life and a smell of luxurious lifestyle. Yeah. This doesn't smell like me. This smells like a professional. It just smells like professional in a professional setting. This just smells like a professional man in a formal setting. So, other than that initial blast of this non-sweet, it's misty kind of iris together with that deep new leather smell, it has a twist to it. It doesn't just go like that. The iris just disappear quite quickly to the background, and added up to this leathery note is a little honeyed mimosa. So this smells altogether like a very clean leather. Yes. Don't be offended or don't be scared to try this mimosa, because this is not like a very feminine mimosa. This is like a dewy, a little honeyed, nuanced mimosa, which is very, very appealing, and it's very, very formal. And as it dries down, as it develops, I do get much more coming from the hay, the dryness from the hay and the dryness from the tobacco. This is like two sides, like a dry sides of this tobacco and hay, striking a balance with that wet and dewy mimosa. And in the middle you have this new leather, clean and sleek, just attractive and just very professional. I don't get too much of an ambroxan, which is really good because I really do not like ambroxan. I tried one fragrance with too much dose of ambroxan, and it definitely gives me a headache, but this doesn't. This just has the perfect balance of everything. It has the perfect balance of tobacco, a little green, a little dry, the perfect balance contributed by the leather, the the slickness, the elegance elevated by the leather, and also a little bit of youth contributed by the honey nuanced mimosa. This is a masterpiece, really. When you wear this, it doesn't really project like a beast, but this does give you a very professional aura, like professional setting. And when you pass by, when a person wearing this passes by me, I would definitely turn my head and see who that person is. I mean, this professional, smart, confident man who is wearing this fragrance also loves to smell a little bit clean, a little bit not childish, but there's still some innocence. Yes, there is still some innocence retained by this matured fragrance. That is why I really think that this is really good for Farith. Another fragrance that I highly recommend to him would be Treachery. Yes, this is a fragrance, a funny name of this fragrance. It's Treachery by Maher Olfactive. Treachery. This Treachery. This Treachery is a fragrance that I would highly recommend him to try, because this is just the perfect tobacco scent. This has no leather. This is another side of tobacco, and this is a good performer. It projects and it almost fills the room. I don't know if it fills the room because I haven't gotten a full bottle myself. I'm still treasuring this little vial that I have, but I would really recommend others to try this fragrance. Now, Treachery. So what is this fragrance? Treachery is, well, it's an indulgent and self-comforting scent, according to the brand, a note from the brand. But I don't think that this is self-comforting. This is everybody's comforting scent. Almost everybody's comforting scent, if you like boozy notes. So this fragrance has whiskey, the note of whiskey, sweet almond, vanilla, tobacco, spices, cacao pod, saffron, davana, and wild berries. Well, I tell you what, this is a fragrance that I have never smelled before. This is something very boozy in the beginning. This booziness is, it's very hard to describe when it's so boozy in the beginning. Like it's intoxicating. The note of whiskey, it's intoxicating, but it just lasted for like 3 minutes. It doesn't intoxicate the wearer all this time throughout the wearing. It's just the first few minutes, but it's enough to draw your attention to the scent, and it develops into this warm, into this deep tobacco spiciness. Yes, and then top up with a tobacco spiciness. There is some delicious cacao pod, dry and aromatic. It's just brilliant. This is brilliant. Well, I guess that Farith seems to enjoy tobacco scent as well, and I think that this is a scent that he should try as well. And so as everyone out there who is a tobacco lover, who is boozy scent lover, you should try this one too. You know, this has this magic about it. When I wear this perfume and when I walk around, I can even get my own sillage. I don't even need to overspray with this one. Imagine if I spray more than once, more than twice using this sprayer, this vial sprayer. Imagine if this is from a full-size bottle. I think that the performance is even better. There's a little bit of this spiciness, floral spiciness from the saffron, not too much, but it kind of rounds everything up, completes the whole deep dry scent by adding a little bit touch of this spicy floral of this saffron. Wild berries is also listed, but it's not really that much. It doesn't scream berries, it doesn't really have that berry fruity component. Not really dominant. Maybe there is just to give it a little bit of tartness. But overall, this is also a very alluring scent. I would imagine a man wearing this in the evening to still a formal gathering with your colleagues or with a superior, eating in a fine dining restaurant, eating in a luxurious restaurant. This would be the scent that is perfect for that occasion, because I don't think this scent will drown everyone out. It's not like this scent will make your dinner smell like nothing but your perfume. But this scent is just like it's just good enough. It's just so indulgent. Yes, it's indulgent, and I think that everybody out there, not only Farith, but everybody out there should try this Treachery by Maher Olfactive. So yeah, I think that this would suit Farith very well if he is to go out in the evening to also a semi-formal setting with his colleagues, with his superior, even with his family. This scent, can be worn anywhere, indoors, to boost a person's confidence, and also to kind of draw everybody's attention to him, not by showing the fragrance in everybody's face, not by shoving everybody's nose into a perfume, but by leaving a very sophisticated, alluring aroma lingering in the air, but not quite pungent, not quite permeating the air that you can't smell any other thing. This would be the perfect balance of sweet seduction by a matured person. So that is all the fragrance recommendations that I would give to these two young men. So if you're listening to me, thank you for tuning to this auntie babbling and rabbling, talking nonsense here, making no sense. But I thank you for your time, and I hope that you enjoy what I have to put it up here. And if you want to send to any other people, yes, you can do so by maybe putting up a video of your own, or maybe by putting a comment down below and let me know who you want to send and what scent would you give that person. That's all. Thank you also to Iqbal and also Farith Mornias. Thank you for giving me your permission to kind of use your name, to kind of mention your name in this audio, in this podcast, and I wish you